Friday, July the 31st, another edition of Hip Living, that's healthy, inspiring, positive living. And as always, you know, it's been a long week and we're at the end of the week. It's Friday, and as always, I like to have something empowering, inspirational, and positive. That's what Hip Living is all about. And last week we had a pretty inspirational guest. We talked about men's health. We're going to kind of pick up on that a little bit this week. Now, pretty excited about this week because of the host I have. And I want to get into it. You know, we go way back, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. He is the one and only Mr. Reginald Thornton of Sweat and Go. Reginald Thornton of Sweat and Go. And we're going to talk about a few things about his business, his company, and he is a certified fitness instructor. So we got a whole lot to talk about. Want to just kind of like summarize some things that we talked about last week. And if you want to call in and pick up where we left off last week, feel free to call in if you have any questions regarding the subject matter and the content that we'll discuss today. Also want to give a little special shout out to the Washington Redskins, even though I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, but you know, it's all good. We want to give a special shout out to the Washington Redskins. I'm coming to town, and want to put that out there. But let's just get right to it with my guest today, Reginald Thornton, man. How you doing, man?
Hey, Stuart, it's good, man. It's good.
Nice
Good to be here, man. Good seeing you, man.
Nice
It really
you,
is,
you know?
man. Yeah.
And we go a ways back, like I said, VUU.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, VUU. And I guess we may have kind of crossed each other's paths back in the day in high school, too, because you ran track for Maury.
Right, Maury High School, yeah.
Maury High School. I was JHW.
Mm-hmm.
And came to Virginia Union, VUU. Got a lot of fond memories of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But we'll get right into Sweat and Go.
Wow.
And, what's that all about, Sweat and Go, Rich?
Well, Sweat and Go is actually a fitness company that was founded in 2008 officially.
Oh, okay.
I kind of had been operating under it a little bit since 2002, right when leaving the government.
Oh, okay.
But Sweat and Go actually is a company that specializes in personal and group training for all ages, everything from sports-specific training to even seniors fitness and wellness and conditioning, just about helping people get in shape to be all that they were made to be and do all they were made to do. Our company motto is activity produces longevity. So we're just trying to be active. So the more active we are, the longer and better we are, and our endurance is.
Right.
So.
And that's a good point that you just made. You talk about longevity, you know, and activity produces longevity.
Yeah.
And that's interesting that you brought that up, because I know on my first show, I kind of talked about that. I consistently talk about the longevity part. Last week, we were discussing men's health. Oh, yeah. We're talking about that. And we got a little bit into, you know, people aging and everything like that. And some of the things that I've witnessed. In fact, I had a picture of somebody that you had an opportunity to meet. She was a bodybuilder, Ernestine.
Oh, yeah, my second mother. I call her my second mom.
Right. And she is definitely an inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
She definitely embodies when you talk about longevity.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's get a little bit more into Sweat and Go and what you do with Sweat and Go. Now, we'll talk about hot sauce first. Okay, let's talk about the hot sauce first, man. Let's get into the hot sauce thing. But when I saw that, I'm like, hot sauce? What's that all about, man? You know, but you can explain it to people. I know a little bit more about it, you know, so explain to people what this hot sauce about.
Well, hot sauce, Stu, is a nickname that I've been given because a lot of times when I'm teaching my exercise class, when I'm about to crank it up, I tell everybody to say hot sauce, and they say hot sauce. So what happened was, when we started our group exercise class and started our group classes there at Fitness for Less in Clinton, Maryland, they decided instead of calling it body sculpting class, instead of calling it just the normal high-low class and all. They said, let's just call it hot sauce. So on the schedule, it just says hot sauce. So people come check, and they look on the schedule, they see spinning, they see yoga, they see Zumba, all right, they see abs, and they see hot sauce. And they're like, well, what is hot sauce? And so I kind of picked up that name as my nickname.
Oh, okay.
And what I do is we just keep it hot in there. That's what we do.
Oh, okay.
But it's a great workout. It's a fun workout. It works your strength, flexibility, and endurance.
Right.
And it's just something that just picked up.
Right.
And just picked up. And it's a fun name because it describes the classes and the way I teach. If you don't like good music and you don't like to have fun, you don't like to laugh, my class probably isn't the one for you. All right. But at the same time, you're going to work hard. You're going to be sweating. And you may feel a little something the next day. But, you know, a little ice will get it going and get it going and just get back rolling. So that's what it is. Yeah.
And that's a good point you made, because like even you go to these places, it's really about variety.
That's
I think that's what you're pointing to.
That's right.
Because if you think about all the people that are out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot out there. And what I advise people, you know, is a variety.
That's right.
I mean, it's not about anything being better or less than any other.
That's right,
regimen.
man.
It's really about finding that niche for yourself.
That's exactly
right. So for some people, like you said, when they see hot sauce, it's like, okay, hot sauce, let's mix it up. They may be doing something else over here.
Right.
Follow, and then they do the hot sauce.
That's exactly right.
So I always advise people, you know, it's good to mix it up a little bit, and that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to get into something else, too, that you do.
Okay.
Like we're sitting down right here. Okay, now we're sitting here, and that's interesting, too. That's innovative, too. Then something I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to kind of borrow it a little bit, too, from you. I'm going to go ahead and admit it. So if you see something on Facebook, you'll be like, wait a minute, Stu, wait a minute, man. So explain to people what that's all about.
Right, and that's actually called seat beat. And you my teammate, teammate. It is trademark, but you okay? All right, it's okay. And actually, I'm coming up with some ways of certifying and training people for it. So I'm glad you're interested in it, and you just walked into being a seat beat instructor. That is great. God is good, But actually, seat beat is exercise right in the chair. Seat beat because all you need is a seat and a beat. And man, believe it or not, it was actually founded in an adult daycare and assisted living facility. Yes. That's where it was founded. I was asked, it was when I first left government in 2002, I moved down to Petersburg, and I was there in Richmond around this area. Remember, I came back to the area for a couple of years and all. And I was asked to go to this place called the Mary Carter Beacon House. Shout out to y'all in Petersburg. I was at the Mary Carter Beacon House. And I was asked to give exercise to them, and they were a lot of people had dementia and needed and they asked that they thought it would elevate their moods. So I went there, and I'm like, wow, I can't boot camp and step aerobic these folks here. I didn't know what to do. And I wanted to leave. And matter of fact, I saw an exit door, and I was thinking, I'll go to that exit door and then I'll call them on the phone and tell them I had an emergency. I was that scared. That petrified. And brother, this good Lord told me, just sit in the chair and move. I tell you move. And that's how it came about. And it's taken me all across the country, and I can condition it to any crowd, the music to any crowd. It won't sweat you out, but it gives you an exercise experience. And once people see they can do stuff, then it opens the door for them to hear what you say, and you're meeting them where they are, because people don't care how much you know till they know how much you can.
That's right.
And that's how, and I mean, man, and it's a fun workout, man. I've done it with seniors. I mean, I even broke down a high school football team in the chair.
Yeah, because when you talk, that's a good point you make when you talk about the seat beat. In fact, whether you're talking, because I know I actually saw a little bit of it with silver sneakers too. Yeah, that's what made me think about it too, because I also do the silver sneakers part.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's where I was going with that. Now the other thing, like you said, people don't realize, believe it or not, sitting down. So you're not only dealing with that part, but you're also talking to people out there that work in the office. You know? Exactly. And believe it or not, a job sitting down can be worse. For your back. Than people who stand up all day long. And I didn't know that, believe. I thought I knew everything, but come find out, doing the research and everything over the years, people who sit down. So that seat beat could be good for people also in the office, which I noticed you do that a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I've done that going to different offices, law firms and things like that. We take that posture thing very lightly, man, and keeping our posture strong and keeping things strong. And the thing about being in the chair, it forces you to work them core muscles.
Right.
All right, because you got to sit up and move.
Your posture, right.
Now, I really wasn't thinking about that when I came up with it. That's just kind of stuff that happens along the way that I realized you actually are strengthening your core muscles when you do it, which is what you need, when you're doing any type of working out. If you don't have a strong core, I don't care what sport you play.
We learned that early on back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of just hybriding in this. And then and as I said, we can just make it fun, man.
Make it fun. Right. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Definitely true. Yeah, because like you said, being innovative and that's very important, and having something for everybody, mixing it up in a variety. And a lot of times I also get into this whole issue about something that I was doing called do what's in front of you.
Right.
And the seat beat kind of reminds me of that a little bit too. I tell people, and I had a few instruction videos, do what's in front of you until you can get to the gym. So do your seat beat until you can get to the gym.
Exactly.
You got to be real. Do something. Be active. I mean, I know sometimes people get busy, got a busy schedule, things come up, sometimes inclement weather.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you're not feeling it. Okay, don't beat yourself up because you can't get to the gym, but you want to do something.
Exactly.
So something like the seat beat, the thing I call do what's in front of you, you're doing something.
Yep, I tell you.
That's what it's,
And I have a saying I always say, something lead to something else and nothing lead to nothing else.
Right.
So you got to do something, something. And a lot of people also feel like if you have somebody that has been active a long time and maybe they used to play sports and things like that, they'll sit there and they'll think about all the stuff they used to do.
Right.
And they like, well, I used to run 7 miles. I don't know if I can run 7 miles anymore. I can't. I used to bench 350. I can't go up in the gym benching 110 pounds. They're going to look at me. So you let all of that hang up and that pride keep you from doing something. Sometimes it may just start with a walk. But do something. All right? Because if you don't do something, I promise you, then nothing you're doing right now, next year this time, you still going to be doing nothing.
That's right. That's true. That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's all about remaining active and everything. And I want to mention something else too. I kind of talked about last week too, because you're doing work with ministries now. I don't know if any of you ever were tuning in to some of my earlier programs. I did a thing on my first program because I was the only one up here.
Okay.
And what I did was I had some subjects. I put it on a piece of paper and I had a hat.
Okay.
And I had like 3 or 4 subjects, and I pulled some up under the hat, and I had some faith and fitness.
Okay.
So I talked about faith and fitness, and again, going back to the seat beat, going back with the doing what's in front of you. Now, being a little long-winded on this one, where I went with the whole subject of faith and fitness. Okay, I'm a Christian. I'm assuming you're a Christian.
Yeah.
And the point I made during that show is when you talk about just health, period, as it pertains to those of us in the Christian community, is not quite.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah.
And if you talk about certain communities in our upbringing, it was other faiths, maybe the Muslims or stuff. The whole thing with not eating this and eating that. But where we are, from where you sit right now, okay, in the work that you do, where do you think we are with that right now? Have we gotten a little bit better? We get much better, or do we need to? Because you do work with the faith community. I think that's the point I want to make, because you do the work.
I think that now, Stu, it's getting better.
Okay.
It's a whole lot better than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
I think people are realizing they've got to do something.
Okay.
And it's getting better. We still got a ways to go.
Okay.
Because the key to it is you got to get the leader to sell out to it. The leader to that. Like I do classes at my church.
Okay.
And the pastor participates in the classes.
All right, I got you.
He participates in the line dance class. All right, that we do at our church. All right. The church in Alexandria is the pastor. It exercises and it works out average. So he is part of his lifestyle. Ask Carl Johnson, who is from around here. Carl from around here.
Okay.
And actually born and raised in Richmond. And actually used to pastor church in Hopewell. I used to be with him there in Hopewell, and we did
okay.
exercise there.
Okay.
At Friendship Baptist, and now he's in Alexandria, and he called me up and said, man, I want to start exercise class here.
Okay.
But he exercises too.
I got you.
So I think that the leaders have to be a part of it. And then I think that you need to understand that basically, to be blunt, we can't do nothing for God dead.
There you go.
All right, we can't. We can't do nothing for God dead.
Right.
Everything that God intended for us to do on this earth, we need these bodies to do
it. There you go.
And we don't mix God with life, and understanding that, yeah, we're spiritual, but we've been given a spiritual mission in these bodies. That's right. And we can't walk around here acting like we angels. Right. All right. We got to get these bodies ready to do what God has created us to do. And that's why even with my show, Gospel Aerobics, now it went away because we couldn't get sponsors. But I think now if we had the show, man, it will blow up. It will blow up because people are realizing we got to get away from that food. And the thing about it is, it's not that we can't eat it sometimes.
Indulge
sometimes. All right. But it just can't. We got a tendency. Every time we get together, we got to eat. All right. We got to eat. All right. It's got to. Every time we get together, we got to have red ministry and a fried chicken ministry. It ain't always got to be that way. All right. Okay. It always got to be. Sometimes we got some water and some fruit. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? But, now I'm not saying that in the next family day, because I don't want y'all thinking the next family day that, Stuart and Reggie said we can't, because, we don't want no pastors running us out of town, because we know about the gospel birth. But we can mix some health, mix some water, mix some healthy things. And I find that also when you just bring it in slowly, people see how they feel better.
There you go.
And and even with the classes, even with the classes doing my church, we 4 years going. We've been going 4 years strong now. Right. But it didn't start out that way.
No, it's baby steps.
And we just took the baby steps. And CP was the perfect thing. Now we up. Now we're doing line dancing. The people lost weight. People we got testimonies of people just coming off their medicine and prescription drugs and blood pressure going down and feeling great and all. And I think when you just start with the baby steps, but that key, man, is get that pastor, man, to sell out to it.
Definitely. And you really hit it on the nail. It does come down to the leadership. It really is a leadership issue more than anything. And I even mentioned it's someone in North Carolina that I'm going to be trying to do some work with.
Great. That's great.
It's the leadership. And there are a few in this area, but it takes time, baby steps. And ultimately what you're talking about as it pertains to our faith is stewardship.
That's right. There it is.
That's it. There stewardship. You got a responsibility. It's like renting.
Yeah, you're right. And
we're really, all of this is for rent. We're renting this. And I mean, this will go. And go to heaven or whatever. But I'm just saying, this will go. And if you're not taking care of the house, I mean, it is going to be what it is. So you really hit it on the nail with that.
That's right. Because what happens is you don't take care of the house you rent.
Right, that's it. I mean,
you're going to get that notice.
You're going to get that eviction notice. Hey, I mean, no better way to put it. But just wanted to touch on that, and we really got into that. So that was good. It's good to have you here to really back me up on that one. Yeah, definitely. You mentioned something about the radio show that you're doing. You're doing a radio right now?
Yeah, it just seems like, Stu, some of this stuff is just hybrid, and it's just blessings, man.
Right.
And our radio show, Fit for Real. That's the name of it. It's an internet and radio show on WUIM 92.1. .net. And we have a free app. We have WUIM 92.1. It's a free app. Pull down to the smartphone, and you can pull it down, and you can listen live. And Fit for Real is on every Friday. From 3 to 4. And basically, we just talk about how to get fit for real. And even talking about, which I know you talk about, and you do, about bringing a balance to it, a balance, and just being for real with it. And talking about real things like pain and sore, how to deal with soreness, and author and birth.
Right,
you know,
right.
arthritis, bursitis. I call it often burp.
Right.
And because that's real as you get on.
Right,
when you
that's
exercise it, some stuff going to get sore.
Right.
You're going to have some pain. Some things going to get tight.
Right.
And how to deal with that to keep you going instead of using it as an excuse.
Giving it up. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That I ain't, you know, I guess that must be bad for me.
And I'm gonna say something about that because we don't realize the body, you know, how our bodies were designed and what our bodies are capable of doing.
Exactly.
I mean, in a way, age is nothing but a number. In a way, what I mean by that, okay, like I would say, we're not gonna do what we did when we were back in Union running track.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. But we can do certain things based on some of the people that we see that are older than us, like Ernestine.
Right,
you
exactly.
know, or that 70-year-old dude that's doing bodybuilding, but he look like he about our age.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so what I always tell people in regards to that, okay, you'd be surprised at what your body can adapt to. I tell people I do have arthritis, but it's more like a condition. I don't look at it as a disease. It's more like a condition.
Yeah.
And I'm still able to lift weights. I'm still able to run and everything. But some of it is really about the mind.
It is.
You know, and you really have to stay active to keep that longevity going. Because if I tell people also, a lot of us, you heard people say this when they were like in their 30s, you know, I'm going to die from something or this, that, and the other. And it's kind of funny because those people end up living.
Yeah.
You follow me? They're the ones that end up living to be 70-something years old, but go back to your point, being on the medication, being all those aches and having all of those pains and everything. And the point is when you are 30-something, 40-something, and our age, it's really like an investment.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get sick.
Yeah, exactly.
But the key is being able to recover, being able to heal, being able to sustain yourself. So, I mean, pretty much, you know, you talk about that pain and...
Yeah, and you know, and the thing about it, and that's another thing. Another way of looking at it, as you mentioned about, you know, we got to die for something. But then, what if you live?
That's my.
What if you now, because you have to take care of this body,
right.
Now you got to live with all this stuff,
right?
All these that you could have been taking care of your body,
right? You
and invested,
right?
And now you got to deal with. And you're like, oh Lord, when am I gonna die? Because and you like going anywhere. And that's the thing with me, a quality of life. See, I'm not. Stuart, I like being able to go to the grocery store and get my bags and take them to the car. All right? Now I know people have conditions and all, and I don't want to offend anybody or what I'm about to say. But if I can avoid the scooter, I'm just not trying to. I don't want to use the scooter to get my cereal if I can avoid it. And if that means taking a walk around the block right now, all right, making an investment,
I got you.
Then I'm going to do that, all right? I'm going to do that. I don't want to have to call nobody to come get me because I can't lift my groceries. Because I might not want to wait 2 hours for them to come get me. When I said I need to be at the store at 9 because I meet at 11 and you come get me at 9:45 or 11:45. Now we got to rush and then you going to rush me in the store and then come back home. Now I want to be able to go myself and take myself around. And man, I tell you, I watched my grandfather, man, and my grandfather lived to be 95, man.
That's great.
And he actually died our sophomore year in college.
Okay.
And I watched him, man, and I only saw him sick the last 3 months of him living. And that was the wildest thing for me to grasp, to see him sick, because for them, man, Granddaddy was walking all over the place and he never drove. He rode his bike. He worked 40 years and he worked as a custodian in the shipyard. And he rode his bike back and forth to work. That's how he got around. And even, you know, even when he retired, man, Granddad to catch the bus and he gone all day. If you want to contact Granddad, you better get there by 10 o'clock. Because at 10:02, he was at the corner. And he was on the bus. And then maybe, you know, he was a Mason, so sometimes his lodgers would come bring him home and what have you. But he stayed active, and I watched him staying active and all. And I said, now see, that's how I want to be. And his brother lived to be 98, his little brother. And their little sister, she lived to be 104. And I watched them. They were active. And the thing about it is, I know they were old, but I didn't think about them like
but
being
you didn't
80.
Think about it, right?
83
so
and 84.
Active, right? That didn't even register.
Right, because even though he didn't drive, his brother and my great aunt, they drove.
Right.
So I'm watching her. I know she 85.
Right.
But she getting in the car, driving herself.
Okay.
But I'm like. And I think about it now.
Right.
But I didn't think about Encore then. I'm getting in the car and Encore is 85, driving down the highway, yelling at somebody that ain't driving fast enough. If you're scared, get off the road.
Right.
That was my and she 85. But quality of life, man.
Definitely
you gotta, and you're right. You gotta invest, man. You gotta invest.
You invest right now. Like I said, we at an age. I know for me being 52 right now, I can't keep up with my own age, but I'm 52 now.
Wow, go ahead, man. And see it, I'll be 50 September. So
And I tell people, it's really the beginning. This can be like it's a new beginning.
Yeah.
When I tell people for our age group, and I'm doing a thing called Boomer Fit right now, and that's one of the emphasis I'm emphasizing to people. Because I know sometimes when you get into the fitness thing, people get stuck in that rut of I'm 50, and they looking back. And I tell people, don't get me wrong. Every now and then I kind of look back a little bit too. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more so looking ahead. Looking ahead and look at this as turning the page, going into the next chapter.
That's 50. Right.
This is the beginning. And I tell people always look ahead. We're kind of talking about age and fit right now. We're spending a lot of time talking about age and fit right now because that's where we are.
Right.
We're at that age right now. Like I said, we're 50-something years old, and a whole lot of things happen to us. And like you said, some people get caught up into that, well, what I can't do, like you pointed out, I can't bench press, I can't run football, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about you're 50 years old right now. Go ahead and turn that page, turn that chapter, and then you can get a preview of those other chapters.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got that 60-something years old, you got that 70-something years old, and you got, like you said, your grandmother and grandfather, your elders, and you got that to look forward to. So I tell a lot of people, just look at that as an example.
So true, bro.
And take it from there. What we're going to do is I'm going to take a musical break, and we're going to pick up on something coming back after the break. Okay. We'll talk about men's health. I'm going to go ahead and get into that.
Yeah.
Coming up next on Hip Living.
This part of the show goes out to all of the steppers out there. So you step, two-step, let me see you. Come on. Yeah. Whoa. It seems we've lost our touch. Used to be so in love, yeah. But somehow we've gotten off track, and we never really got it back, oh. And I think we better find a way, yeah. Get right back to the good old days. Wanna make it to heaven's gate, yeah. Then we need to escalate. I need direction to that street called love. To that street called love, yeah. To that road, trying to get home. Oh, take me to love street. Take me to that place. Take me to that place where the streets full of love. Oh, clear! I want everybody to pull out their cell phone cameras. Everybody pull out their picture cameras, their cell phone cameras. Come on, and take my picture. Let's go. Custom grapes and apple gator, 100,000 on my wrist. Pinky shining, coupe reclining, white tee and linen outfit. Jump out styling, ladies smiling, paparazzis everywhere. Mama stretches, them on Lexus, pull up while people stop and stare. Sometimes life can be like a dream when you're living on a big screen. Dancing cars, movie stars, friends.
Which camera I'm looking at?
I guess.
All right, we're back at Hip Living. I'm your host, Stuart Spears, with my guest host, Reginald Thornton, Sweat and Go, Northern Virginia, D.C., Maryland area.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I put that in there for the people out in Baltimore, D.C. and D.C., Maryland area. And you can check him out on his radio program. It's WUIM, that's 92.1.
Yep.
Online. Fit for Real.
Yep.
And we've been keeping it real. And I was telling Reggie during the break, this is Reggie. He's always been like that. Always been a hype, fella and everything, hype brother, and keeping everybody laughing and joking and having a good time. And I'm really enjoying having you on the program.
Yeah, man. I thank you for having me, man. This is fun, man.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
you, man.
And I'm going to go ahead and say it right here on the air. It's kind of strange, weird. We're going to talk a little bit about fitness instructor, being a fitness instructor. Because to be honest with you, I really didn't have any intention of being a fitness instructor. And where I'm ready to go with this, gets kind of deep and kind of spiritual. Because for me, I just enjoy being fit. Working out in the gym, staying healthy. What we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It was mostly about me just being fit, staying healthy, the longevity and stuff like that. Because I've always cared about my health and everything.
Yeah.
But that being said, people would kind of want to get a little bit of advice from me and, ask questions. But still, I wasn't interested in the fitness instructing because I looked at that as, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But tried a lot of different things. Different things when it came to mentoring, getting involved in the community, and tried a lot of different things, and still like doing some of those things. But then it got to be where I was thinking to myself, when you talk about pursuing your purpose and your passion, and it getting to be spiritual, and then pray on it. And something happened, and all of a sudden I'm finding myself like, okay, there's a purpose in this. There's a purpose. I'm driven by a purpose.
Yeah.
Always wanting to make a difference in the community.
Yeah.
Empower people.
Yeah.
And so I found myself getting into this. Now, here's where you come in. You was my Facebook buddy.
Yep.
Facebook friend. And it was strange. I looked on your page. I saw the track and field stuff. I'm like, okay, Reggie, he's still doing the track and field thing. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But really what struck me right when I was getting ready to decide to answer my calling or my purpose, you were doing it. And that really gave me an extra boost. You follow me?
Oh, wow.
It really boosted me, and it was really
Man.
inspirational to listen to you talk about it, because I went on your website, Sweat and Go, and hear you talk about it. What blew me away, it was like, me and Reggie never even talked. And he's saying the same thing I'm saying. We never really, communicated or anything.
Yeah.
So I thought I wanted to put that out there so you just don't know.
That's true.
And I tell anybody, one thing about pursuing your purpose, and we were talking about that when you talk about God and everything, things happen for a reason.
Yes, they do.
You may have met somebody. I've been knowing this man going back to the 80s.
So, wow, man.
And who would have ever thought, here we are again.
I tell you, yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, and yeah.
That's something to think about. So when you're talking about purpose and realizing your purpose, the point is this: the relationships that you have with people. Think about the type of people you surround yourself with. Think about the decisions that you make in your life early on, because it's sort of like dividends. You're going to probably meet those people depending on the choices you make.
So right, bro.
And that's where it's at. So I thought I'd put that out there.
Man, and that's, that's so true, Stu. And I was just thinking about, that's why you say that. Because I was just thinking about that when I was parking. Okay. I was thinking about that now. I'm like, I'm getting ready to go on my teammate, on Stu Monroe. I'm getting ready to go on this show. Look at us on TV talk about fitness. And Stu, I have a similar story to you. Because, I didn't plan on, I like personal training, both my parents retired gym teachers and coaches. And all, but I didn't plan on doing the group exercise element. I was like a Saul of Tarsus when it came to that. All right. And I used to stand outside the aerobics room. And if guys was in there taking step aerobics at all, I stand out there with my dumbbells, and when they come up, I said, okay, now you've been dancing with the girls. come on over here with the real me.
I got you right.
Because I thought all that was for girls.
Right, no.
Until God tapped me on my shoulder and said, guess what?
Right.
I want you to get certified.
I got you.
And I was like, I ain't doing that. Because I didn't even take classes.
Oh, okay.
And then I went on and fell into my purpose and calling. And all the fun and the fulfillment that I had in doing it.
Right.
And even just us being around each other.
Right.
And Stu, and let me put this, Stu, you modest. I'm gonna tell you something about Stuart Spears, all right? Well, we used to run. Now Stu would run the quarter, and sometimes he run the half, and then the Stu could drop all the way down to the 4x1. But Stu used to train. Y'all see Stu running all around Richmond? That ain't changed. Stu always been. Stu would run places where we drove. I would drive the places and look a block up, and here comes Stu jogging. And I'm thinking, I could have given the brother a ride, because I won't go running with him.
Right.
But because my races ain't last as long as Stu.
Okay.
But you would run everywhere. You would run everywhere. Man, I remember. I ain't trying to tell you. I remember Stu. You were at the Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, okay.
And after practice, now our legs are gone.
Yeah, that's true.
My legs is. I'm trying to make it to the cafeteria and get me something to eat. Get in that room for 6 o'clock. Stu, you put your backpack on your uniform and you would jog to work.
Well, a few times, I did
and I'm thinking, wait a minute, hold it.
A few times I did.
I can't even move. And still gonna run to work, and that's when I also learned. I said, I got to get in better shape than this, cause he running the Pizza Hut. I said, even the pizza's motivating, but I ain't gonna run to it.
Right.
So you even conditioning back then, and it's really amazing how it worked, cause we did work hard. We trained hard. We trained real hard, and because of the facilities, the lack of facilities we had, we had to come in with supreme conditioning. And you remember a lot of guys, man, that came out there for the track team. A lot of them, man, didn't last because they thought we was crazy. But we had to train hard because we had so many odds against us. We didn't have a rubber track.
No, we didn't.
And all that. So we had to make up things and go run hills and what, Bird Park? I think run them hills and run up backwards and try to find a way and swim at Calhoun. Is Calhoun still around, Calhoun? And do all that stuff. So, but we got it in.
Right. Which brings me kind of like to where we are today in general when we talk about, fitness and where we are. People got a lot of options.
Yeah, that's
there are
right.
A lot of options. I mean, really, there are a lot of options for people, as far as getting fit, or even when we talk about athletics and everything. There are a lot of options. I think the whole thing, too, which kind of the reason why we're kind of like where we are today, too, is you really think about the foundation.
Yeah.
That particular era. If we were to talk about young people, and I brought up something that was really not too much good news for the Richmond area, that Richmond was ranked number 2 when it came to obesity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Richmond was ranked number 2. Now, they do this report every 4 years. A lot of reports, they do every 4 years, the presidential year. So the report was done 2012. The results came out 2013. Virginia Beach was in there, too. I think Virginia Beach was tied for number 4.
Oh, my
So you got 2 Virginia cities when it came to obesity. Now, I wasn't really, regardless, what I thought about was this, Richmond, and being in Richmond, I felt like I had to speak on it. But this could have been any city. And my point was this. What I was thinking about, what you just talked about, not having the facilities, not having this, not having that. Go back to my point about having that foundation and where we came from. You had recreational parks. You had gym class. You follow me?
Yeah, exactly.
We got childhood obesity now. Which was unheard of.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say something real quick. If anybody want to call in, you're more free to call in. The number is on the screen. If you want to get into the discussion, if you got any questions for Reggie or me pertaining to what we're talking about, just feel free to call in, Hip Living. But get back to my point. A lot of it does have to do with that foundation, if you really, really think about it. Because even if people couldn't make it out on the track team, if you think about it, they was doing something.
Right. Right,
And that goes to tell you, you follow me?
Yeah.
They probably could go do another sport or do something or go hang around, but it was like the bar was so high. The bar was so high. And I think that's what that was. We were like, not patting ourselves on the back, but the bar was so high because when you came from elementary school, you had the presidential thing.
Yeah.
Or even between that, when you were in middle school, you may have ran for a track club.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you got into high school. And so I think the whole thing, and this is where I appreciate Michelle Obama and what she's trying to do as the First Lady, is to really talk about children and their health.
Yeah.
And not being long-winded, which brings me to something that I also mentioned. This is like I guess you could say a segue until we get ready to go into men's health.
Yeah.
Because I want to take some time to talk about the fellas a little bit. But I mentioned this last week, and I said something about us being a role model.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why, turn in that page and turn in that chapter, your grandkids are watching you. Your nephews are watching you. And this is what I say to a lot of the people. A lot of you fellas out there that are just sitting around and you got your grandkids and everything. You want to set a good example for them. That's why you should be active. That's why you should work out. We can't criticize the young people about why don't you get from in front of the computer. But we're sitting in front of the television.
That's so right.
Fellas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
we
so
sitting
right.
in front. We can't even talk about these kids. Why they don't go outside like they used to. Well, we used to. Wait a minute. What we used to do, we talking about now.
Right.
What are you doing now?
Right. Exactly.
See?
And you can't show, unless you can show some film up on the wall, or you used to, you can show some footage of you going out to the basketball court. They won't back in Houston. They won't borrow.
Right.
And that's a good point you put up. And kids, man, are like sponges.
Right.
They absorb and they follow what they see. And if you just do, people be amazed at how much kids would run and play if their adults were doing it.
Thank you.
If you got outside and run, man, one of the things that happens a lot of times if we have family cookouts or family gatherings or something like that.
Right.
Sometimes everybody send the kids to me because they know I just jump around like a big kid.
Right.
You know one of the things I do?
What's that?
I say, you know what we're going to do, y'all? We're going to take off running. When I say 1, 2, 3, we're going to take off running and scream as loud as we can. And we just take off running. We ain't going nowhere. Just take off running, all right? And all of them just follow me.
I got you.
Just follow me and running and yelling. Because kids want to. But they're only going to do what they see. And you're right with that men's fit. That is the key. We got to get out and do. Now, we don't have to get out there and run and do the same things they did, but they got to see us doing something, and we saw that coming up. We saw. We were out there doing,
and that's what we leave out. That's the part we leave out about back in the day.
Exactly.
We leave out that part about we had coaches, we had people that do the mentorship. I mean, things are what they are today. We can complain about what the schools are not doing and what this is not doing, but it goes back to what you're doing right now because you're a bit of a mentor too. You're reaching out. Right now it's sort of like we got to do this like right now.
We do.
I'm not gonna hold my breath and wait for them to have gym class in the school. Not hold my breath and wait for this to happen. Get out there and do something about it.
You're right,
and that's the whole key.
And we got to really come get our kids.
Yeah,
exactly
but I'm getting back on the fellas a little bit. The men's health is very, very important. Now, last week I also did something. I brought out the statistics and the fact about men, and this is the thing that really tripped me out a little bit when we talk about men's health, because there's so much obsession right now when we're talking about men, and we break it down to ethnicity and everything. Talk about black men. We usually want to focus on the violence. Not that violence isn't important, but the number one killer, black, white, it don't matter, is heart. Start with the heart. Then they broke it down, and I think number 2 was basically stroke. You had diabetes in there. And then the only violent act that they had in that top 10 was suicide. And these are the men. This is the top 10. So, talking about the men health and everything, we just got to get a little bit better with that. And I know I feel like it seems like I'm just picking on the fellas and I'm not talking about the women, but I feel like I got to talk about men because I'm a man. Right. I got to start with me first before I start talking about the ladies and everything. And I have to be honest, fellas, it's a bit of a stretch to get some of us out there to work out.
It is. It is.
I mean,
It
I just got to be real with that. I mean, we can talk about the women. I'm not saying there's some credible things you can say about the women, but when it's not enough of us showing up, it's getting a little bit better. But when enough of us are not showing up, then it is what it is, and we got to man up and just do better.
Right. And I mean, and I see that even in my classes, man. It's just that the ladies are going to come out and getting the fellas out. You know, the fellas out. Even some of the America, they'll send their wives out. Right. And I said, well, when are you gonna come out and participate and do something in trying to get them out? So it is. We've got to get better, and we've got to get better because our wives, they want us to be our significant. They want us to be healthier. They want us to be healthier. And it is that heart, man. And basically, one of the things that causes that heart to shut down, that heart is a muscle.
It's a muscle.
And that muscle has to pump. It has to pump. And the only way that muscle is pumped is you got to move.
You got to move it just like any other muscle. Right.
Right. Because that's the only reason you can give your heart to pump blood. Right. Now your heart don't have any reason to pump blood if you sitting there. It can boom. Boom. Although sometimes if it's working too hard,
there you go.
It can be boom, 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 boom.
That's my point. Because what you just said, it'll have to work extra hard if it's clogged or obstructed with the arteries and everything. So yeah, that's a good point to be made. But like I said, getting into the subject of men's health, like I said, me being a man right now and seeing what I'm seeing right now, and I had a young man on here as a host, and what really blew me away. The gentleman that I had last week, he was 25. And what was interesting to hear him talk about his generation, I'm like, I wouldn't have been talking like that about coming across people having a stroke or coming across people with diabetes. But this is what is happening right now with him, and we're talking about the men. And again, it's not even so much about we're dying. Our life expectancy has gotten better. But it still gets back to being sick and having all that medication. I tell people, if you're 40-something years old, and when that doctor prescribes you with that first medication, that right there should say, hold on, stop. From this, I got to do something. Because what's going to happen is not going to get any better. No. It's going to go from 1, maybe 5 years, it's going to 2. The next thing you know, by the time you like 50 or whatever, or 60.
And we think, and sometimes we have a tendency to think, okay, I'm taking this one.
Right.
And this is going to make everything better. Right. And eventually I may get off that one and that's going to be it.
Right.
When no, that one is just getting ready to start that chain reaction.
Right.
And it get to a point where your medicine cabinet look just like a Skittles bag. That's why you need to just, that one, as you said, okay, I need to shut this down. I need to, and it just makes some changes.
That's all.
All right, some people, I had somebody tell me one time, I said about drinking water. That's somebody tell me, you know what? I just can't drink water because I don't like the way water tastes.
Okay.
Now I'm thinking, I don't like the way water tastes. I mean, and I'm like, oh, that's why I don't. And the thing about it is, your body as you is 60% water. And your brain is 80% water.
Right.
So if you're wondering why you can't think clearly, maybe if you drink some water. All right, 80%, maybe some thoughts will come to you. And then even with the activity, what I didn't realize is every time you exercise for at least 10 to 20 minutes, your body develops new brain cells.
That's true.
So that's where that saying came from. I need to take a walk to clear my head.
Right, to clear my head.
And it'll develop. And adding fruits and vegetables and just start to make them changes. I never eat no vegetables. I just don't like vegetables. Just like you a kid in a high chair.
I've heard somebody say that too. I mean, but it's like an investment and you take the baby steps. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of that goes back to conditioning too.
It does.
If somebody said they don't like the taste of water, well, if you're drinking Coke and you're drinking the sugar and everything else, I can get deep with all of that. You know, the whole chemistry thing and things that are going on with the sugar. And I was reading something, matter of fact, just the other day that blew me away when they were talking about, and I'm not just putting on a particular soft drink on blast, But let's just say this particular soft drink, and they were pointing out what this soft drink does to you. The number of tablespoons of sugar that's in that soft drink. Just that soft drink, you got your maximum allowance of sugar. They say alone, if you just had that sugar alone, you will vomit. But here's the catch-20. They put another chemical in there to keep you from bringing it up.
Oh my!
And so what a lot of folks don't understand, the trickery that goes on with a lot of these companies and with the food that you're consuming more than what your body would naturally be able to tolerate. And
so your body would naturally just throw it up,
right?
If it had it yet.
Right. But they put a chemical in there, flavoring in there, that allows you to drink more of that soda. It could be any kind of soda. So this particular soda, I'm not going to name it, but I'm just saying it probably applies to all sodas.
So it's going to suppress you. So your body would normally after a sip probably not want it.
Not want
but the chemical is going to make you want it.
Right.
And then want another bottle.
Right.
And
so that's why we have the diabetes and everything. And that's why we have the problems that we have. And, and the fellas, men, women, or whoever, dealing when you say they don't like the taste of water. Because naturally, if you know what I'm saying, you should want the taste of water. But if you're consuming a whole lot of something else, it's taking away your appetite for what's good for you. So the person that don't like vegetables, that's not natural for you not to like vegetables.
Oh, man.
There's something wrong with you. It's not the vegetables.
Yeah.
And so that's what I advise people on. You have to sort of wane yourself. And water is the best thing for you to start that with. Mm-hmm. Like you said, that's, 60, 75% of whatever the number is of your body is made up of water. You should consume that first thing in the morning. Mm-hmm. I talk about that religiously. You do too. Mm-hmm. So, that's definitely something that you should be doing a whole lot of. And for the fellas, we got to really be on top of that.
Yeah.
Prostate cancer is no joke.
No, it's not, bro.
Coronary artery, your colon cancer.
Yep, exactly.
That's another thing, fellas, that we got to watch out for. And, just take care of ourselves. Be better. Get out there, exercise. If you got a wife, girlfriend, work out with them.
Yeah.
Work out with them. You in that relationship, you want to be around, you want to be healthy. Work out with them,
right.
Work out together sometimes. That's the way to do it.
That's exactly right. Do it, make it a team thing. Make it and support each other.
Right, and just encourage each other. So definitely, man. But we get ready to wind down the last 5 minutes, man. And it was great having you on this program.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
We got to do this again.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it anytime, bro.
I really enjoyed it.
Man.
And for the people out there, it's been a great time. I think I got one more program they're doing. It's been a great time doing hip living, health inspiring, positive living. And how can people contact you?
Wow, well, and I'm finally getting social media friendly, so you can definitely hit me up on Facebook at Reginald K. Thornton, ReginaldKThornton.com. Or actually Reginald K. Thornton on my Facebook page. Or I have a Sweat and Go Facebook page also. You can also contact me on Instagram at Sweat and Go. And on my website is www.sweat.ngo.com. My phone number is 301-793-5878. But this Facebook page is the best way to get in contact with me. I'm on LinkedIn, but just type in Reginald, it'll come up, or type in Sweat and Go. You'll see the videos, everything I've done. And ask me questions and just see where I'm going to be. And that's the best way.
Okay, definitely. Definitely. And we're going to be doing some things together in the very near future.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to that. And definitely they're going to be taking this to Facebook. I'm going to be doing some things on Facebook as well in the very near future as far as the media part is concerned. So look forward to that. And look forward to seeing Reggie and, like I said, we're going to be doing some stuff in the very, very near future.
Yeah, homecoming, man, coming up, man.
Homecoming coming up, VUU, Panthers homecoming, so definitely they're going to be there. And for everybody out there in the viewing audience, definitely have a great weekend, have a healthy, inspiring, positive weekend, hip living. And next week, we'll be back next Friday with a special guest, and we'll be talking about some things, definitely hip living, and I'm out of here.
I'm not leaving here till I take me a picture. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody make some noise! Yeah, I like that. This next song goes out to all of the ladies in the house because as far as I'm concerned, tonight is ladies' night. So this is what we gonna do. I want all of the sexy ladies to take their hands and clap them like this. Come on. Go ladies, go ladies, go ladies. All the sexy ladies of Oakland, make some noise. She like the sun shining bright, a romantic moonlight, like white clouds and blue skies. She's got diamonds in her eyes, a rainbow after the rain. She's my joy after the pain, far away paradise, make you wanna touch the sky, like the highest mountain peak as the ocean goes deep. I wanna dance with that woman, yeah. Dance with that woman, yeah. I'm gonna treat her like heaven, treat her like heaven. Make her smile, keep her happy, yeah. Take her stepping, yeah. Let's have some fun, y'all. Said I know that it's somebody's birthday tonight. It's Mr. George Daniels, y'all. And I know somebody's gonna celebrate tonight somewhere. I know I'm gonna put on my dancing shoes, yeah, and go out and step the whole night through. I'm gonna, then I'm gonna, oh yeah, I'm gonna step in the name of love, yeah. See, I know there's somebody breaking out the champagne somewhere, and you can be sure that somebody's gonna make love night until the day. Oh, one thing, I'm gonna put on my dancing shoes, yeah, and go out and step the whole night through. I'm gonna, then I'm gonna, oh yeah, and I'm gonna step, ooh, in the name of love, yeah. Yeah, oh, I'll wait till somebody else keeps up. I wanna be the first one.